That's a new way to do talk radio. You open your mic up live and just cough right in the microphone. I'm working during every break on other projects. My whole life is just a blur of New World Order corruption. The last lady, Sheila in Indiana, called in, for those that just joined us, and she was talking about how she heard on the show that these weird hired contractors, sometimes city workers, sometimes CPS or health department, send you threatening letters. And this has been in the news. I've been hearing about this for years, but in the last few months I've seen it in the news. And they say, we show your child's not vaccinated. Why? Especially in Northern California, where in some areas over 65% of the children, the news reports it with horror, aren't vaccinating. In some of the most highly educated, affluent cities, because the parents aren't stupid. I mean, I have AP, Reuters, London Telegraph here, where Homeland Security and NHS workers in England, not just here, but will not take the shot. The majority, I mean, these are doctors, won't take it. But the government then sends you threatening letters. We're coming to your house, finding out why you haven't taken all these dozens of different vaccines. And then their excuse is, I hear Dr. Dina Dell almost every week when I tune in, because I just happen to be in the car driving to work when that's on. They re-air it locally on Sundays here, so I hear it driving into the office, because my show comes on after that here locally and syndicated like as well. But the point is that I'm driving and I hear him say, I think it's just terrible people won't vaccinate their children. They're endangering your children. And so they need to be arrested, and they need to be charged, and they need to be sued. With this government's history of chemical, biological, radiological testing on troops and foster kids and black people and killing people. I mean, all the thousands of declassified cases of irradiating foster children to death. I mean, the list goes on and on. I always just throw out the few well-known examples. Releasing biologicals on the New York subway, 68. Killed a bunch of people, but that remains classified. They admit they killed people and had Army doctors posing as regular doctors in local hospitals to test the progress of the disease. No, that was really to test whether they had doctors that were cold-blooded to kill, so they could then advance them up to put psychopaths in higher rungs to start larger cadre groups under them. That's how this works. So all of that is going on. But the reason I wanted to talk a little bit more about what she was discussing is it wasn't real for her till it happened to her coworker. Till her coworker got the letter saying, we're coming to your house to ask why you hadn't taken the shots. It's intimidation. Just like they tell the parents, the schools, we're going to have a town hall to get you straight. We run the community now. We're the boss now. We're the federal node into the police department and the schools. We run your town now. We're going to tell you, mommy and daddy, what you're going to do. We're going to keep your kids 12 months out of the year, 10 hours a day, not 8 hours a day. That's just for starters. It worked in China and Russia. We're doing it here. But notice it didn't hit her when she heard it on the show till it actually happened to her in her own life. Now, I understand what she's going through. When I was in Hardin, Montana, and then the last night I went up to Billings to stay in the local hotel, and that morning, going down to get some coffee, on the first floor, for some reason, the doors opened on the third floor, and there were all these Girl Scouts, and the door started closing again, but I noticed police, so I hit the button again and stepped out. And then actually, and I know I've told the story repeatedly, but it's so important. And I thought, should I go get a camera? And I just looked at the cops, and I looked at Homeland Security, and I looked at them getting off on indoctrinating the kids. And then there's issues of taping, children. And I thought, well, I can sneak up here with a camera. This all went through my head in a split second, and kind of shoot them from the back so it doesn't show their faces. That's what CNN did when they reported how great it was that Girl Scouts will be spying on you. They showed kids from the back or blurred their faces. And I just did what everybody else did. I said, I can't handle this crap anymore. I just got in the elevator, closed it, and then left Montana. None of us are perfect. I mean, the great Alex Jones, the big fighter of the New World Order, I wasn't expecting it. And that's how tyranny works. You don't expect CPS at your door. You don't expect your daughter gets a bruise on her knee in gym class, so they come strip search her in Hayes County and try to take her away from you and don't tell the parents, violating state law, they did it. And then they lie about it and say they didn't. And then later admit they did. You don't expect lying and criminality and evil because you're not evil. At least you're not overtly, wantonly evil, given over to evil. And so, I'm getting to the point the same way. I mean, it's even overwhelming me where I'm like, my God, what's coming next? I mean, it's bad enough to know they're training Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts to spy on their parents. But then to get emails from Boy Scout and Girl Scout leaders going, it is true we get a badge for preparedness and to help Homeland Security, but it's not like you say. And then I've got their own literature, and I've seen them training them, it's not as bad as you say with the Boy Scouts. It's only one group of Boy Scouts, only one division, and they list the name of it. One that trains to help police and go after veterans and gun owners. They just find any reason to. Let me tell you, it's un-American to open a door up and there's hundreds of little girls with police and Homeland Security. I mean, let me tell you, that isn't America. And if you don't know that isn't America and that is dangerous as hell, I don't know what to say to you anymore. Folks, we know where this road goes. We're almost there. Here's an analogy. It's like you're a kid. Your parents put you in the back of the car. You go, where are we going, Mom and Dad? We're going to the carnival. We're going to the fair. And you kind of don't believe it. You're so excited because, it's a surprise. And you're like, really? 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 I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And then finally you see the Ferris wheel at night off in the distance. And you're like, we really are going to the fair. I mean, my parents always surprised me. I don't know if you have those similar memories, but the point is that I'm here with a pair of binoculars going, world government, New World Order, global corporate takeover. Here's their own documents. And it's not on the news, so people go, oh, you're a liar. Now we're arriving at the New World Order. It isn't a fun Ferris wheel. It's a slaughterhouse. And you can smell the stench, you can hear the braying sheep, and still people are in denial. Okay, you have been warned. Let's go ahead and talk to Lex in Ohio. Lex, you're on the air.
Hey, thanks, Alex. Great show today. Awesome guest, the doctor earlier, and really appreciated Sheila's call. I also want to talk about some Prison Planet-inspired research about vaccines and the flu that I've been doing. But first, I wanted to tell you how I actually found your show in the first place, which was totally by accident. I was on Justin.tv last November trying to watch football for free like a macho tough guy, and through looking for things in Texas, found you, and I was instantly hooked, man. You're all over Justin TV with movies and clips and fans. So really inspiring, but I also, the downside was finding out how hard it is to be your fan because in these times, liberty and truth and hero worship, hero vilification, disinformation, it's pretty brutal. So I encourage people to find online forums and places like Justin TV. I'm in a room a lot called Verbal Militia TV, and we show your movies, encourage people to do their own research just like you do. We try to tell people to focus more on the message and not the messenger. But the reason I called is to tell you I followed your and Dr. Tenpenny's advice. I think it saved my daughter's life. She's 6 months old today. We did not vaccinate her and have no intentions to. She's a picture of health. Our friends that have had kids right around the same time, I've got friends with 8 months old and 4 months old, earaches, runny noses, the kids don't sleep, they're grouchy, they're fussy, but, our kid, honestly, a perfect 6 months to the day. So since I, kind of fell onto your bandwagon and Dr. Tenpenny's bandwagon, I've started following her. She's from Ohio, like me. Not only did I download all the PDF inserts like you guys recommended from FDA.gov, it's really easy to do. I read each and every one of them and found that, and hopefully you can help me out here, because I want to make sure, I'm not a doctor, and I know you're not either, but maybe you can help me understand this. But
no, it says it doesn't protect you from the flu. It can sterilize you and give you cancer.
Absolutely. So all the flu shots this year, not just the H1N1 specific vaccine,
they all have it.
All contain H1N1, as they did last year and the year before that and the year before that. H1N1 is the most common strain of type A influenza on the planet, so it always kills more people worldwide than any other strain. I mean, if H1N1 was the swine flu, pigs would be dying.
No, it's all lies. Literally, it's all a giant fraud and a hoax.